we are almost at the top of the hour, so I guess what I'm going to do is hand things directly over to Bob Cornelison from Top Core. Bob has been a long time partner with us on MP University. He's attended and presented at, I don't even want to think back to how many Bob has been with us on, and he's also very helpful in responding to questions. And so, Bob, welcome aboard, and I'll hand things over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me see. I'm sharing a screen right now. Is it purple?
Excellent. We are ready to go.
All right. Well, yeah, actually, we already took a short break, Gregory, but we were chatting all the way through it. So I just wanted to quickly show you this slide again. I know Harold already did it, but this is like already 2 hours in. So thank you very much for all of the sponsors as well, and the speakers, everybody on the sheets here, but also David. I love to see how Mike and David were tinkering about in code and creating things and managing packs and stuff. So it's really nice to see all of that going on. Thank you very much, guys. So let me then go to the next session, which is me. So I was asked to say something about SCOM migration. However, to try and keep it within 30 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, because otherwise I will just talk faster, Harold. I'll do my best. Of course, as you understand, this could be a huge topic. You can talk for days about this one topic alone. And actually, we are building a SCOM training of a day for this. So it'll be released in about January. Right, let's move forward. Well, I'm somewhere at the top over there, the right-hand side. Bob Cornelissen, also called SCOM Bob, now 13-year MVP for Microsoft for Cloud and Data Center Management, and this year also for Azure Cloud. Technical Director for TopCore. We specialize in observability, insights, manageability, and Microsoft infrastructures. And for SCOM specifically, we are looking at the ones at the bottom over there. So we are doing a health check, which is quite extensive. It gives a lot of data and a lot of insights into your SCOM environment. We do trainings, different levels, operator, admin, specialist trainings, etc. We do implementations and upgrades and migrations. And we also have a knowledge partner story whereby we are available for an amount of time every month to talk about well, whatever is related to this topic. All right, so check our website for more info. The agenda for this session, we've already done the first one, I guess. We talk about SCOM versions a little bit, so we know where we are, because if you want to migrate or upgrade, you know where you are currently and where you want to go. We talk about a little bit about the new features in 2022 and 25, because that's where we want to go. We talk about the upgrade tree. I know you've probably seen this before, but I just wanted to show you this again because it is important. Then we have two types of migrations or upgrades, either an in-place upgrade or a side-by-side migration, which we will talk about. Very important also is talking about management packs, because a migration just for the infrastructure of SCOM is one thing, or an implementation. It can be done faster than you think, although it can be slowed down by company procedures a lot sometimes, but the management packs migration is usually the bigger one, actually, and is the more interesting one. And we are at the Managed Pack University, so of course we wanted to be able to mention something there. So let's have a look at the SCOM versions list. So we actually just had from the SCOMathon what was it, the inventory of SCOM, right? So what kind of SCOM versions are being used still? And 2007 was still mentioned, I think, by one person. But what we usually see is 2012 still being migrated up. Yeah, the Thank you. The big SCOM survey results, Stoyan. Thank you. So 2012 still used a lot, but it's getting less and less usually migrated. You can see it's also well out of even extended support. So the bottom part is the initial mainstream support. The second block on top is the extended support. So SCOM 2016 already way into the extended support. SCOM 2019 just entered a half a year ago into extended support. So no more updates expected there. And SCOM 2022 is, well, that will be the current version, except for that, 3 weeks ago, Microsoft released SCOM 2025 as well. So I would consider both of those the current version, with plenty of mainstream support and extended support. And also mentioned there is SCOM Managed Instance, which is SCOM in the cloud. You've heard today earlier from the Microsoft product group that there are they are running it already for a year, but there are good changes coming up, I think, over there too, which give you a lot of possibilities as well. So what I would like you to do is look at the green stuff and try to get there. Even if you are still running SCOM 2016 and 19. Some of the reasons also have to do with new features, but that is what we will talk about in the next slide. Okay, so why would you like to upgrade to a newer version? Well, first of all, I need to mention the support, the version support, which we just mentioned. We want to stay within or near the mainstream support. This also has to do with the update rollups coming out for those with fixes and so on. Right? In theory, they are coming every 6 months, but in practice, last few years, it's once every year. So try and stay a little bit close to that. Secondly, the new features. So with every new version of SCOM and also with the update rollups come new features. This includes, of course, support for newer versions of Windows and for SCOM infrastructure and agents, but also improvements in security measures, such as possibilities to use TLS 1.2 or higher, group managed service accounts, which might be required by your company moving forward. Of course, we do know that migrating up in versions is sometimes depending on the licenses available to your organization. For those on software assurance, it's very easy to just keep moving up in versions. This is what you pay the software assurance for. But keep in mind that staying on the much older versions for price limits you a lot in the above mentioned items, and they might be running on Windows and SQL versions, which you also prefer to get rid of because they are also aging and getting out of support. So for SCOM 2022, I just wanted to highlight a few items. We have a new set of built-in and custom roles for administrator airbag roles, whereby we have a read-only admin, for example, for auditors, several options for custom admins who can be limited to only do, for example, agent management or work with notification subscriptions. We have an updated option for alert closure to be able to close an alert from a monitor, whereby the monitor is still in an unhealthy state. This new option would also update the health state back to green, which then will close the alert for you. So the dashboards and the alert list show the same thing. That was the initial reason, one of the reasons why this was implemented first. For the installations, there have been improvements, especially while deploying to clustered SQL instances for the SCOM databases. And in this version, there's full group managed service accounts support for the RTM version installer. So when you start directly with it, then you can use that there. And a number of visual changes have been done to some of the views here and there throughout the product based on requests made by the community. So a nice one is, for example, an additional column in the alerts view, which points out if an alert is from a rule or a monitor. And we have here Teams notification channel has been added instead of the old IM channel, which was there before. And of course, this version of SCOM can be run on Windows Server 2022 for the infrastructure components as well. Just excuse me for a sip. Mhm. Okay. So SCOM MI, SCOM Managed Instance, is exactly what you would think it is. It's a version of the good old monitoring capabilities of SCOM, minus some of the administrative overhead of maintaining the SCOM Management Group components. Formerly known as Azure Monitor SCOM Managed Instance, it's a version of SCOM hosted in the cloud and uses VMs in Azure as management servers and Azure SQL Managed Instance to host the databases. So since these components are managed by Microsoft, this removes the responsibility of hardware or software updates and security patches from the admins. Note that this is different than lifting and shifting your SCOM management group from on-prem to Azure by just copying the VMs over. In terms that in such cases you install all SCOM core components such as management servers and SQL databases on Azure VMs as an IaaS service, where you are still yourself responsible for everything. So Microsoft aims to make the migration or transition process as seamless as possible. Of course, there are differences between on-prem SCOM and SCOM MI, such as the supportability for some monitoring items. For example, ACS, AEM, network monitoring, Linux monitoring. So that is going to be different. And SCOM MI is a capability of Azure Monitor. So you have to see the Azure Monitor as the total, and then certain things you will do using SCOM MI, other things you might do using other parts of Azure Monitor there, which is something that Akash mentioned earlier today. So that's a different way of looking at it. Next, we have SCOM 2025, released earlier this month. We have installed and tested the new version of SCOM in our environment for a while, and also in previews with our friends from the Microsoft Product Group. SCOM 2025 supports Windows Server 2025 for both the infrastructure and the agent parts, like all of the System Center Suite 2025 does. This is for the OS that it can run on, but also the agents. We see TLS 1.3 come into play as well. You've seen there is less dependency on NTLM, but it's not completely gone. So, it's something that they are currently working on. It also provides support for Microsoft Edge versions, which are higher. So 121 with the EIE compatibility mode, and Google Chrome also version 121 and up. So although the SCOM 2025 support matrix is wider than expected, it's only directly upgradable from SCOM 2022. So as always, one version up, which is also mentioned in the next slide. Same for any previous version of SCOM. An in-place upgrade is meant to support only one version up. So this is a graphic you may have seen before in my talks about upgrading SCOM in the last few years during webinars and in-person events. SCOM upgrade tree. In the middle, we see different versions of SCOM and how you can upgrade from one version to another. As you see, every time one level up until you reach the top or you fall off the slide. So making things a little bit more interesting, we have to add the Windows Server versions to it. So look at the red lines. So for example, the one that is touching the 2022 version, SCOM 2022 will support the Windows versions below the line, directly below the line, and directly above the line. So if we bring those up, I had to tinker with this a little bit due to the 2025 at the top. But we will see Windows 2019 and Windows 2022 right below and right above that line. Next, for SCOM 2025, you can see that it supports actually Windows 19 as well, and 22 and 25. And if we now add SQL to it, we see a little bit more. So SCOM 2022 supports SQL 2017, 19, and 22, so below and above the line. But it turns out that SCOM 2025 still includes the support for 2017 as well. So 17, 19, 22, and currently we cannot say that 25 is also supported, but it will come because SQL 2025 has been announced, and we just have to wait for it to come to reality, and of course test. But of course, the idea would be that it will be supported. So in bullets, we are deciding which type of migration we are going to do. The decision on which method to use depends not just on the SCOM version, but also on the Windows version and SQL version, because you want to be able to be on the right version set in order to be able to move up to the next version. So if you are still running, for example, SCOM 2019 with SQL 16 and Windows 16, then it means you cannot move up to the newer SCOM 2022 directly, because you first need to upgrade your Windows and your SQL. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So that combination is very important. So that means that the decision on how to migrate depends on the not just SCOM version, but also on Windows and SQL as well. If there are too many upgrades of these three products involved at the same time in production, there is a larger chance of messing things up. But also there will be many steps involved. In most of those cases, but not all, I prefer to select a side-by-side migration in that case. So when going for a side-by-side migration, I have a tip for side-by-side migration, and that is to set up your new environment on the latest versions of the supported products, because it again gives you the possibility to do an in-place upgrade to the next version coming after that. And next you can, of course, copy the whole configuration, multi-home the agents, and migrate with less production impact. So that's the side-by-side. So the in-place upgrade usually has a little bit more impact because you are messing with your production system in place. But on the other hand, it might be easier. So if everything is prepared well, everything is stable, and it's one version up, okay, let's go for it. But first, let us start with this step. For SCOM migrations and upgrades, the most important is to make a plan. There are too many moving parts to think that everything will be all right by inserting a setup disk, putting a weight on your enter key. And I actually have one of those here. So I can just slam my hand on it, and it will actually give an enter. So the first thing to do is to check the health of your current monitoring environment and the versions and the settings that you have in place. You need this information for all of the next steps. And you need to select a path to either upgrade up or migrate up. So depending on your chosen path, you make a list of steps needed to get to the end result. You first put in the biggest steps. These include Windows and SQL upgrades or fresh implementations. And what do we need to get those ready? Next, the upgrade or implementation steps for SCOM itself in the main steps, and maybe also smaller steps. So more detailed things that you need to consider and need to do. There are several lists of those available online on the Microsoft Docs. Kevin has some of that as well. You can see that these lists are becoming long enough to be very interesting to actually put down in steps and make a plan. However, you also need to consider process as well. Migrations could require new designs, project setups, budgets, connections to other projects and products, and so on. We've just talked about connectors, for example, right? That was with David, so that is already like one of those things. So you put the steps in a logical order, Some will run simultaneously, that's fine. For each step, we determine how much time it costs to get it done. Who is going to run these steps? This can be the SCOM admin, it can be the DBA, it can be somebody on the network or security team, or an external consultant. Note, for example, if a change is needed and approved by the change board, or if others such as monitoring users need to be notified. And that way you can work through your worksheet and put checkboxes or change colors or whatever you do to make sure that you have taken all of the steps necessary in your plan. And the timeline can also be made for this. Some migrations take from hours to days, while others require a process spread across several months because of the testing, how complex it is, all of the connectors that you might have. Some companies simply have follow any way or method to make a simple process more difficult. So that is also possible. We've seen it all by now, I guess, and many of you will have done the same. So you must make sure that you have an account with the correct rights. This account must be local administrator on the SCOM infra servers, including management servers, SQL, also in the cluster scenario, and the SCOM web and report servers. The one doing the upgrades will be a sysadmin as well in SQL and a SCOM admin. And then you have, well, more than plenty rights to move forward and run all of the in-place upgrades. So for an in-place upgrade, there are a few steps generally that you need to do to start, such as making sure that you have plenty of space in the SCOM database. There it is. In the SCOM database, about 50% needed, and that its transaction log file is bigger than normal. This is because the amount of data going through it at the time of upgrading. You remove the agents from pending management, and then you start disabling the notification subscriptions and connectors. And this one is one also called before, actually in a previous version, disabling the IIS web console site in IIS because it also gets updated. And there will be a script to clean the ETL table using a script, and the script is available online on the documentation from Microsoft. It will be there. And then I would say we start by upgrading the root management server emulator. So first of all, we restart that machine just to make sure that we have no pending restarts waiting, because otherwise the setup wizard will find out in the middle, fail, and then you have to start over. So better to just restart that box. Also, sometimes the monitoring host gets stuck on servers which are quite busy. For example, if they are also doing Linux monitoring and those kind of things. So that's also why it's best to just flush all of that by a reboot, and then we can start moving ahead. So we stop all of the SCOM related services on the other management servers, and then we start the SCOM install wizard to upgrade the RMSE management server as well. And please do not start the SCOM installation wizard on multiple servers at the same time. I know many people will want to do it. Just click through everything and then wait until the last second to only press the finish button. Don't do it. Just do one at a time until you're finished, and then start with the next one, because it will cause you problems. So do one by one. So moving on to the side-by-side scenario, where we migrate from an older environment to a newer SCOM environment, which is built up next to it. First of all, you make a design of the new management group. You consider the versions as we talked before, SCOM, Windows, SQL. Most often, let's be honest, your existing SCOM design can be used as the basis for the new one if the same considerations apply. For example, for security, for sizing, and those kind of things. They do not change that widely mostly. So if your situation is still the same, then you can use a similar design, unless you want to have it challenged, of course, by some of the experts in the community. That's also fine. Think about high availability, think about security, the number of servers required, and the specifications. So, for example, are you going to use the same service accounts as the old SCOM environment, or are we going to use new service accounts, or maybe are we going to use one service account? So as we said before, for a side-by-side migration, you need to set up a new SCOM infrastructure. The existing one just keeps running in the meantime. We set up new Windows servers, new SQL servers, SQL reporting gets installed. We set up our new management group with the first management server that we install, and we keep adding management servers as we need for our design. We have the SCOM reporting server built up, and the SCOM web console server and or any other web consoles such as SquareUp, for example. And we can look at getting our gateways installed as they are needed. So in many cases, this does take a few more steps within each item listed here. But for that reason, I again highly recommend putting up a list of a main and smaller steps for this, so you don't forget too many things. Otherwise, you will forget stuff. Next, when the SCOM infrastructure has been set up, you are looking at the migration between the two components, between the two environments. So again, also here applies, it's good to have a list of steps. This is just an example. This is there is some talk about some management packs here and there, as you can see in the list. Third-party packs, user roles, notification channels, web watchers. There might be connectors again to ServiceNow or wherever you go. The agent migration story is there too, which might be more steps in your case, because you may want to create a new script and SCCM package to do the agent upgrade in some organizations, instead of just pushing the agent through SCOM. And of course, at the end, there are some steps about cleaning up the connections to the old SCOM. And of course, the old SCOM itself needs to be cleaned up. And also don't forget about your updating of documentation. Very often forgotten as well. So we can chat about the steps further in another talk, but we are a bit limited in time here. So if you have immediate questions about this or need our help, please come and find me at Topcore. Let's move forward to this story. Management Pack University. So we have to talk about management packs in relation to migrations. There are several things to consider actually. There is the management pack backups, which involves having an offline copy of some of the downloaded packs. And it involves creating a copy of the unsealed management packs that you have in your environment. You could do that in several ways, for example, using the Ops Manager self-maintenance management pack rule to automatically dump all of the unsealed packs into a share every night and include that in a backup. Or if you can use tools such as Select MP Studio to maintain your total management pack set, and even for multiple environments such as your test and production management groups. So when we are calling it a backup, we will assume that you do it for a reason or something going wrong and you need to restore. But now you can actually also use these management packs, these saved management packs, as a way to seed your new environment. Also, we need to consider the third-party management packs. So think about the version that is supported with your new SCOM version. While doing a side-by-side migration, sometimes the management group name will change. Actually, it will always change. And some third-party management packs have a license based on that name. So, you can contact them and grab the new set. Don't worry, I'll grab it back. Okay, got it. So third-party management packs, that was done. Come on. You probably need to download a number of sealed management packs from third parties, Microsoft, etc. And next we get to anything that is unsealed. So these are overrides, views, run as profiles, custom monitoring, custom reports, and much more things, such as the Amazon management pack, etc. So grab everything and then you can bring it across. So now that we arrived at the unsealed management pack, this is where things get interesting while doing a side-by-side migration. First of all, you need to get all of the sealed management packs imported that you need, because they get referenced by the unsealed management packs. Next, we have to think about maybe throwing out some management packs that we no longer need because we are coming from older SCOM versions. It might be that there are still, I don't know, Windows 2008 management packs in there. Do you still really need those, or can we get rid of those? So some management packs change a lot, and that means that old override management packs sometimes do not work anymore. But also that we have to think about the references. So our unsealed management packs have references to different management packs that we are overriding for. And sometimes there are a whole list of references in an unsealed management pack, which we might need to clean up in case they are pointing towards, let's say, the 2008 management packs. So there are packs that stay the same, and there are packs which might change. For example, what was it? The Active Directory management pack. I think when you go to 10 point something, also there it changed. So next is the web watchers. So sometimes that's also what needs fixing because the website watchers are probably agents which are sitting on the old system or maybe a management server in the old management group. So what you need to do is you go import that management pack, you go into every web watcher and you adjust which server, which machine is actually doing the watching of those management packs, of those websites. So you can just reselect the watcher nodes or resource pools to use for those. And it's also an opportunity to remove old packs that you no longer need again. So one way to approach this, for example, you could first do a migration of management packs from the old production management group to a new test environment. So just start with a new test environment, go there and do all of that management pack work that you need to do. Clean up things that you don't no longer need, all of the references, if they are still correct, if there's old stuff that needs to go, maybe you can download some new management packs, etc. So you have the opportunity to overhaul some of that stuff that you have to fix there. Might also be that you have a few unused management packs or empty references that you want to clean out as well. And then you use that new set of downloaded clean management packs and cleaner unsealed management packs, the overrides, etc. And just import the whole thing into your new production environment. So that is kind of a trick which works very well. And of course, you can also use some tooling for that. So as I said before, several tools and methods out there to facilitate management pack migrations, ranging from manual work in XML files, which we often run into, to using tooling which can help you, like DevOps repositories, automation, EasyTune, asking Bob to take care of it, who will then ask a colleague to take care of it maybe, or using Select products for this. There are also combinations possible and likely, of course. Since we are discussing Select products as well today, let's talk about what Select MP Studio can do in this respect, just shortly, I promise. So remember I was talking about that two-step migration to first go to the new test environment and then to the new production environment. That was an example where a tool comes in such as MP Studio. Even in the scenario of direct migrations between the two production environments, of course. But in MP Studio, you can build up your repository of management packs, either downloaded or from the Microsoft catalog for the sealed management packs and all of your unsealed management packs with versioning as well. If you are going for higher versions of some management packs, but they are in essence the same, you can quickly have MP Studio update the references in the unsealed management packs to the new references coming with the new management packs. You use the verify feature to check if management pack is valid, and of course you can go for the management pack best practices analyzer as well. And this picture links to the old SCOM management group, and we can get packs and stuff from there, grab it, put it into the store, and from there edit the packs such as we need to, for example, by editing the references. Once you have your management packs and overrides in your test environment, then you can simply use MP Studio to deploy the whole set into the other management group, the new production management group. So one thing I like about the new version 12 is also the notification subscriptions there. Very cool to add support for migrating notification subscriptions in the migration wizard. They present a list of subscriptions which exist in the source management group, but do not exist in the destination group. And we can create new channels, subscribers, and subscriptions as needed if this feature is selected. And again, you can maybe leave out some of the old subscriptions which are never used anymore. Almost done, Harold. So the key takeaways are to move from older versions of SCOM towards the SCOM 2022 and 25, or to see if SCOM Managed Instance fits your requirements. Look at the versions of Windows, SQL, and SCOM that you currently have in order to see if an in-place upgrade is easiest or if a side-by-side migration is required. Both require planning, because we are talking about an enterprise tool with some complexity, and every SCOM environment is unique. This means that in medium to large setups there are many steps to be taken, and the management pack migration is usually the bigger part though, and there are tools that can help you on your way there. So for many SCOM admins this is not part of your daily or even yearly routine, and it is a good idea to contact expert help and to aid in the migration process. Of course, we will be more than happy to help you there. And Stoyan is also here, for example, and others. So, and I can also announce that we are currently working on creating a one-day training on the topic of SCOM migrations and upgrades. So basically, that's a longer version of what we talked about just now, because this topic is larger than you think. So we expect the first run of this training to be in about 2 months in January. So come and chat with us if you need help any faster. Right, so this is already the agenda slide. So Harold, tell me, is there any Q&A that I need to go in straight away, or?
Yeah, excellent. First of all, thank you so much, Bob, for again helping us all understand the migration and state of the union for migration and all things we need to consider. We are a little bit over time, so
very good.
Lots of questions have come in, lots of very specific scenarios. So perhaps what I can ask you to do is to kind of hang around, go through those questions if you would, and answer them in that chat window while we move on to our next topic.